Hey everybody, welcome to this edition. This is the 26th week of 2023. You know what that means, Sarah?
What does that mean?
That means this year is half over. 26, we are 26 weeks into 2023. So for my glass half full people out there, yay, we still have a whole half year left. To my glass half empty people out there, man, we only have a half year left.
Yeah, that is crazy.
It just kind of depends how you look at it. Well, welcome to our I've Decided podcast. My name's Kim Martin, and I am the founder of I've Decided and the host of your show today. We are going to be talking about the word thorough. And my question to you is, how thorough are your goals? How thorough are your action plans to achieve those goals? And in the studio with me here at I've Decided, I'm super excited to introduce you to Sarah Cox. Hi, Sarah.
Hello.
How are you today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing awesome. And Sarah is the director of learning at LearningRx. They are a nationwide franchise, but you work at the one located in Peoria, Illinois, owned by Tara Barlow. And you run the show for her out there, and I couldn't think of someone better to be with me today to talk about the word thorough, because essentially we're going to share with you guys 5 principles of being thorough and setting your goals and sticking with them. And essentially that's what, in a nutshell, brain training. You guys are providing a program called It's Brain Training. We're going to talk more about that. And that's what you're helping really anyone who wants to go through the program and improve their reading skills, their memory skills, and just improve their ability to learn, but especially children who may have special learning abilities like dyslexia, ADHD, and things like that. So before we dive into talking about these 5 principles to help make sure everyone knows how to be thorough in their goal setting, tell us a little bit about LearningRx, how long you guys been here. And I know it prior to being LearningRx, it was college nannies and tutors.
Yep.
And so share with us that little bit of transition too.
Yeah. So college nannies, sitters, and tutors, they got bought out by a big corporation called Bright Horizons. So the sitters and the nanny side is still there, which Tara owns. But we wanted to go on a new journey of how do we still help our community and how do we give back to our community? With my special education background, I really wanted to make sure that we can help those gaps and help fill the needs of all those kiddos. So we found we found LearningRx, and we were just so excited. And Tara's also been on this journey of brain training with her kids.
Right.
So her sons went through it in Australia. So it's about the same program, but it's just now hit the US. And so it's a newer franchise, but it's just booming like crazy because it's different than tutoring. It takes those gaps and those cognitive skills and those, different ways to train your brain and help those kids really, enjoy learning and giving their confidence back. So that's why we, went on that adventure on how to help the community and help it grow. So we opened our doors as of October 1st. And so it's been super fun, exciting. We've had a couple kids graduate, and our graduation ceremonies are fun. They get, a little party.
That's
we
awesome.
Celebrate them and talk about their successes and how they grew, because we set goals for them through it. It's not just academic based. It's, how can we help you at home too? Because you're also frustrated at home with your students. So
right. Everyone, especially when you have a child with a special learning ability like dyslexia or ADHD, it's frustrating for everyone. It's especially frustrating for the child, but it's frustrating for the parent because we want to help them so badly,
Correct.
But we don't know how.
And so they come to us, and we've been able to help. And it's even like the simplest task of mom will tell them, put your shoes on, grab your backpack, and get in the car. They remember to put their shoes on. And so they're frustrated because they're like, oh, I did my task. And mom's like, yeah, but I gave you 2 more. And they're not getting it. So we set those simple goals of just, step A, B, and C, and how do we get there? But I also was in the classroom of standing in line, not touching your peers everywhere and
Right.
getting in trouble. And so it's really even just helped with behaviors because it's not academic based.
And what I love about this program and the reason why I'm here and wanted to share and help you guys get the word out is that it's not just you saying, hey, we're good at this. This is what we do. So there are doctors that founded the organization. They're psychologists. And they have, forgive me if I'm wrong, but somewhere near 30 years. Is it 30 years of proof, like proof in the pudding. They have all the statistics, research on thousands, like 27,000 case studies, proven that those kids with those special learning abilities that went through this program came out like way better. I mean, you can share even Tara's son. Like he graduated the top of his class just last year, but when he was little, in Australia, they said, sorry, your kid can't go to school here.
Correct. Can't read. So he was having a hard time reading and staying focused. And when you can't read and you can't stay focused, you get upset and you get discouraged. And you're like, every kid's favorite word is, I'm not doing it.
Right. Because you get frustrated. I've been practicing the brain training. And it's funny we don't have video footage of that.
You said the word, and I said, you can't say that here.
I know. I'm like, Kim Martin motivates this. I can't do it. Red, left, right, up. I mean, it's amazing. But the proof is in the pudding, and this program works, and we want to share the word. And I just wanted to talk, you to be here today with me to talk through being thorough. And because obviously this is a difference maker and what you guys do. And it's so different than your traditional tutoring, which that's why, instead of going with another tutor program, you guys decided to do the brain training, because brain training actually, research statistics show that kids that graduate this program go on to not even really need more tutoring.
Correct.
Like it is fixing the problem. It is fixing the problem statistically. And the research shows that. So that is incredible. All right. So thorough is our topic that I've decided this week. And just to catch you guys up, the word thorough means complete with regard to every detail. Isn't that great? And that's kind of this program. It is complete. LearningRx program, brain training. Correct, it is complete with regard to every detail. And so, and I've decided, Sarah, you're learning more about I've decided. And here we help people achieve their goals and dreams, right? That's what we're all about. And so we want to be thorough in them setting their goals. So we put out an article every week. And this week, the article is 5 principles for being thorough in setting your goals. So I'd love to go through those with you, share them with our listeners. And you tell us how LearningRx kind of fits into that and how it applies to you guys. So the first principle is notice. So you got to pay attention to the small details. You need to remember that the little things bring big things down. So all those little, undotted I's and uncrossed T's, they add up and make the biggest difference. So, going kind of through the sampling of the brain training, you guys do things like incorporate noises and
the distractions
so that they can really start to hone in and pay attention. What are other ways?
So the biggest thing that I have noticed, because I had to go through it, is I say the word picture wrong. I say it as we're pouring a picture, not as we're taking a picture. And so when you listen to kids, I
probably say that too.
I never when we get older, we start to just blend our sounds.
Right.
And so that's one thing that our sounds are so key in that those little details, saying the vowels like like I have a hard time with the vowels, but that's something that we have to sit down with the kids and we just say the vowels and say them over and over again, because repetition, they say 21 consecutive days of doing something and it sticks in you. It becomes a habit.
Absolutely.
And so even just that and they're constantly saying it, but while they're saying that, I'm going to talk to you. So what was the weather outside today? And they're like, but they're keep going in their mind. So it's little things like that,
right,
that'll help them even take their reading to the next level too, because they'll be able to depict those sounds.
So noticing the vowels and things like that, that's amazing. I remember we did something like that because for me, I could see just as an adult who grew up in the South. So I have what my daughter used to call a Southern language, and it's a lazy language. So like what you're talking about, picture. You know, there's no telling how many words I do that with.
How people say that too. Yes. So it's helping them even have a conversation too. Because if there is a kid that has, slurred speech, which does come with some of the learning disabilities, it is being able to communicate to us if we're helping them grow their speech. Right. Otherwise, they can't get out. And then the frustration comes. If I'm trying to tell you something and you can't understand what I'm saying, then they're just like,
it gets frustrating. Yeah. And when you get frustrated when you're trying to learn, trust me, when you go, I quit. I don't want to do this anymore. And it doesn't take long. And you can really, if you want to see how your kids feel, go take an assessment. Take you and your kid and you both do an assessment and then you see how they feel. And you're like, I don't want to do this. I quit. And then you're like, oh, I can see where that frustration is. Absolutely. It's amazing. And so then the second thing, and obvious, this is where you guys are so good at this, is focus. So highlighting the most important thing that needs to be done. Right? Yep. Figure out what the one thing is that will make the greatest impact. And obviously we talk about that when it comes to achieving your goals. What's the one thing that you can focus on that's going to move you closer to where you want to be? But out at LearningRx, you're kind of doing that same thing, figuring out what's the most important thing today.
Yep. So we break it down and, when they are focusing, we want to make sure that they do have those outside distractions though, so they can, in a classroom, focus on what they're doing. And that's the biggest thing. So, kids with ADHD or even, autism, they'll be like, oh, what was that? Well, there was a switch. What happened? And we're like, nope, we're right here. So it's really bringing them in and making sure that they can listen to what we're saying, which is focusing on our words. We also focus on their body language because that's the biggest thing. If they're getting distracted, how do we switch it and make sure that they are able to focus while they're doing something? So jumping on the trampoline, the ball toss, but we're still giving them cues and everything. So
that's amazing. And it's 101. Let's be clear. This is a very 101 program. Yes. So that is awesome. So we pay attention to the little things. We focus on what's the most important thing. That's the second. The third thing is assess. So what is the reality right now, right? So we need to assess the situation. Where are you in the process of success? What choices do we have? What's at hand? A clear understanding of your current situation and what it's going to take to move you forward.
Yep.
So talk a little bit about that assessment. Like, how do you guys assess that situation for each student?
So each student first sits down with me, and it's about 30 to 45 minutes because most students can't sit longer than that. So, and I check them on their 7 cognitive skills. The biggest thing is I watch their body language. Okay. That's part of my training, just my education training, is really watch their body language. If they're, really into one activity, okay, I know they're going to be stronger there. But if they're just like this, and they're like, oh, I don't really like that, I'm like, okay, that's where we're going to have to work a little bit harder. But, and then it's a constant checking in. I am big on communication with the parents. How are you seeing things change at home? Every 6 weeks, I check in. Because the program is a little bit lengthy, I do want to keep checking in. Do you see progress? Do we need to, give you a little bit extra at home? Are we, do we need to change it up a little bit?
Pivot some. I mean, you got to see how you're assessing.
Yep,
it's always. Assessment happens constantly.
It does. So it's, 6 weeks we check in, see how it's going, and I can retest it anytime. So that's the nice part too, because some parents, I'm a visual learner. I want to see what's going on.
Right.
So they do want it. And it doesn't take anything from me to assess them again. So we do.
Yeah. And obviously you guys have some success stories. And so tell us a little bit about a few of those success stories that you've seen. Because I know
it's been crazy.
Yeah.
So we did have one of our high schoolers, she came in, she, was just flustered. School was becoming really hard. Freshman year is hard. It's
It
a
is for
huge
anybody.
change. And so, her confidence was down, which is a big thing. If you don't have the confidence to go in that classroom and, even just ask for stuff, and set goals for yourself. So she was just, quiet. She'd come in, hi.
Right.
And we're like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
So, we do a diagram. And so when I was showing the parents, she was below the 50th percentile and everything. And mom knew that and was like, okay, how do we get this? So she was in our longer program. And we would set little goals, even like at school. Hey, I want you to go take Post-it notes with you. I want you to ask one question for your teacher every week. And she would. And so it was advocating for herself. That was the biggest thing too. And so at the end of the program, always at the end, they end with an assessment. And she is now above the 50th. Most of them, she's in the 80th percentile of all things, and still continuing to grow because now she has the tools to be able to go into that next classroom and be like, I know what I need to do. I know how I study. And she would
well, and that's the difference right there between the brain training and the tutoring is that you actually moved her from the 50th percentile overall to around the 80th percentile. Correct. Where tutoring might just focus on one little area subject, right? So this is about brain training. It is way different. And you guys are doing a free information session. And we're going to post that. We'll put that on the comments under this and post it. But there's two opportunities. Sunday, July 31st, right?
Yes.
July 30th. Sunday, July 30th.
Yeah.
Sunday, July 30th from 6:30 p.m. or 6 to 7:30 p.m. Or if you want to come over lunch, Tuesday, August 1st from 11:30 to 1.
Yep.
And it's free and you can come and check it out. And we're going to post that information. So I just want to drop that out there too, because the fourth thing you need to do in order to be thorough in setting your goals, or what you guys do, is gather information. So you got to do your due diligence. And, I know what due diligence is, but one of my favorite things, and I do this when I'm doing the research and writing articles and putting the definitions of our words out there and stuff. So I looked up the definition of due diligence. And this is what it says. Due diligence is an investigation, audit, or review performed to confirm facts or details of a matter. So you can do your due diligence before you sign yourself or your child up. You can come and learn and hear some success stories from some of the students that are already out there, and it's free. So you can do this due diligence, gather that data. But so how are you guys gathering data on these students as you go along with them?
So, the biggest thing is I always ask the parents. The parents are to fill out a form for us, just what they see at home. The biggest one I watch for is if they are struggling with reading, because immediately that's a flag for me. If anybody is struggling with reading or doesn't enjoy reading, then that's a flag for me, because you need to enjoy it. It's never going to go away. We have to read everything. You have to read everything that you see. So I want it to be that you enjoy it, because it also grows your brain. If you read, they say 30 minutes a day, you're growing your brain. So I really talk with the parents, and I try to get to know them. I try to get to know what they like, because if you connect, we make sure our trainers connect with the students, they're going to enjoy it better.
Right.
It is an intense program, and it's loading, and it's, one-on-one, but we want to push you to your limits. If we know you and have connected with you and gathered our information on how you like to learn, then we're going to be more successful too.
Absolutely. And it just, one of the things that we provided, I've decided to help people. And what we say is, anyone has the opportunity to be successful. We can all be successful. Sometimes it gets frustrating and we think that we can't do it. And it's not because we can't, it's because we don't have all the pieces of the puzzle for success. Right. And so I've decided we're providing our members with all the pieces of the puzzle to help them achieve their goals and dreams. And I kind of see you guys as the same thing for these people with special learning abilities, is that you're providing them all the pieces of the puzzle for success in one location, so that they can effectively improve and level up in their education and their performance. So that's the difference in the brain training. I just love that. So gather the information when you're setting your goals, and you guys are doing a good job at that. And last but not least is anticipate, right? So, what is the best and worst case scenario? So you got to anticipate what's coming around the bend, and stay on your toes. Murphy's Law. Whatever can happen will happen. We experienced that before we started recording the show. We couldn't get the stupid microphone to work.
Correct.
For the first time ever, I use it all the time, and I'm not sure what was going on there, but Murphy's Law, right? It's like, okay, I do have another microphone. We could have used that. So I had something in preparation, but, we're constantly anticipating what's coming.
Yep. And so, I mean, the kids understand the first couple sessions, we're getting to know you. So it's fun.
Right.
It's a little bit easier, but then it's going to start getting harder. And we want you to know that it is not easy because these are your gaps. We work on your weaknesses. So we are going to push you, and we're going to push you hard, but we're going to make it fun. Right. And so, yes, some of the days you just have to know that this day is going to be a little bit harder. Tomorrow might be better. And so it is. And it is a commitment. And we want to make sure that it is understood that, we're going to get through it. Every hurdle, we're going to, get over that obstacle, but we'll tackle it together. So.
And it is kind of fun. I love the whole president thing. So get this. The first 2 sessions, I learned, what is it? The first 20 presidents?
The first 20.
Yeah. So I learned, I didn't spend the whole hour session on the presidents. We only spent 5 minutes?
Yep, 5
at best? 5 or 10 minutes at best on the presidents. Yeah. And so I learned the first 20 presidents, boom, lickety split. And through visual, through, repetitive,
it's the visual, it's the, putting a story behind it. Yes. Because if you can remember anything with a story, think about memories in life. Right. You remember them because it's a story in your brain. Right. So that's how we remember things.
Give you an example, like Harrison. There's a sun with hair on its head.
Harrison.
Right? Harrison.
Yep. And we tell you a little story with it. So it makes it fun and enjoyable. And it's like, oh, I can remember that.
Right. So like Adam, there is an Adam. So and there were 2 Adams. So there's 2 Adams. But anyway, you tie it all together. Tyler, there's dude is Tyler.
Yep.
So, I mean, it's that kind of stuff, but it's just really a fun way of learning, and you're training your brain. And really, you guys, I cannot tell you enough. Especially for you parents out there, if you have children who are struggling in school, who are struggling reading, who may have dyslexia, ADHD, even autism. The research on kids who are autistic, the improvements that they see is about what age is the best place to start?
Our youngest has been 5, but typically it's 7. Yeah. But we can go down to 5. One of our first students, he was 5, and he's doing great now.
Yeah. So. Thought he was going to get kicked out of kindergarten. He's doing awesome.
He's doing amazing.
Which I can kind of relate to that parent a little bit. I had one that I thought might get kicked out too, but we worked it out. Anyway, I just think it's incredible, and you owe it to them, to yourself. If it's frustrating, you owe it to at least come and do one of these free sessions and check it out, because it is making a difference. And again, it's proven. It's not just saying, hey, we're good at this. Here's the research. This is the program we do. These programs are designed by psychologists, and it's working. It is. And it's working, and we want you to come check it out. So
come see us.
Be thorough, right? Be thorough. So awesome. Sarah, thank you so much for joining me today. Thank you for sharing about LearningRx, and thank you for being patient as we thoroughly figured out this stupid microphone.
You did.
And again, if you want more information, if you're struggling finding the link, we'll post the link and how you can sign up for the free sessions. You can either stop by LearningRx or call Sarah. What's your phone number, Sarah?
It's 309-617-2311.
2311. And it's LearningRx. It's out at the new shopping center out in Dunlap by the Snooks.
Yep.
It's right up front by that new car wash right there. It's right there. So you guys know where that's at if you're in Peoria.
Yeah.
So you can stop by or give her a call too. So, okay. Thanks again for stopping by.
Thank you.
Great conversation. You guys be thorough when it comes to setting your goals. And you got 26 weeks left in 2023 to set some thorough goals, make some thorough plans of action, and we're here to help you in whatever you need. So thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you soon.